Hi, Julie. Do you want to first of all introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Julie Gamble and I've run a beauty salon for virtually 30 years in southeast Kent. And I got to a stage where I thought maybe I'd like to do something different and wanted to retire. But I had a fantastic team, didn't want to just let it go. I wanted to try and do the very best for them moving forward. So I'd heard about Zach through one of the Facebook sites and gave him a call, and it all started from there.
Okay, great. And when we first initially made contact with each other, you explained that you had a couple of, one potential employee that wanted to buy the business. So although you hadn't approached them, it was in your idea, ideally, to have somebody from within to buy the business. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. I wanted to do the very best for the team. If we could continue the business, give them some security rather than have somebody from outside buy and then them, wonder about their future and may not even like the new boss. So yeah, we explored that and you explained to me how that would happen.
Okay, great. And we initially first started off by doing a formal valuation of the business so that we could understand its market value. Obviously you were involved quite heavily in producing the necessary documents that I needed. How did you find that process of sort of partaking in getting the valuation done?
Well, all the information I had somewhere. A lot of it was accounting, the value of the actual premises when I first bought them, all the equipment and the stock and everything. So it was just a case of methodically going through my files to find what you needed, but it was all laid out pretty straightforward. It was just, ticking the boxes and putting in the info. Great.
And it also, I guess, helped you get all the documents ready for the process later on as well. It saved a bit of time because it almost prepared you so that when we got to the legal process, it was a lot smoother. Do you agree with that?
Oh, very much so. I mean, I would have had to have found it all for the lawyers, but of course, working with yourself, I could ask you questions. It wasn't costing me, everything per minute, which they do with lawyers. So this was a good lot of work out of the way. And yeah, as you say, it prepared us for what was to come.
Yeah, okay, great. And when we did the formal valuation, because I know that a lot of people go on the market without getting a formal valuation done. Did you feel that the valuation helped in the negotiations?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, the potential purchaser was looking through, because it was an employee, she was able to recognize everything that was on the list and appreciate its value. So seeing everything laid out with an explanation helped massively.
Yeah, and also she was looking for financing for the business, to fund the process and the purchase. So I guess it helped from that perspective as well. Helped the finance, getting the finance together as well.
Yeah, because she was buying a business, the bank required all of this as well. So doing it all in the beginning made the whole process a lot simpler.
Yeah, great. And I guess ultimately, it did help achieve the price that we got for you, which you were very happy with.
Yeah, I was very happy. It was actually valued at more than I thought it would have been. And I think it was the attention to detail and the, very clear value against every single thing that there was very little room to argue, really. It justified the value that you put on it very clearly.
Great. Because I know also, Julie, a lot of people who were in your position tend to try and go through the whole process of selling to employees themselves. I mean, what are your kind of comments on that? How would you have sort of maybe coped on your own trying to deal with this as opposed to getting somebody involved?
Yeah, it would have been a nightmare. Apart from the relationship, I mean, this particular individual I'd worked with for 15 years. We had a very good relationship. I wanted that to continue because at the end of the day, I'm the landlord. So we needed a good relationship going forward. So having you in, sort of mediate, if you like, between us, it took the personal side out of it. which helped enormously. We're still very good friends at the end of it, and we're looking forward to a fantastic future. So I wouldn't have wanted to have done that process. It would have been too personal. And talking money to somebody like that is always awkward. So yeah, that worked really well.
Yeah, and also then being able to plot the way forward, knowing what's coming next, and being fully prepared, as you say, when we got started with the legal process, it all, I guess, kind of helps for you to kind of understand the journey ahead.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I knew what was going to happen. I knew that I needed a solicitor to handle the sale, and then because we were doing a lease, both of us had to have our own independent solicitors. So there were 3 in total. And you did explain thoroughly how that was all going to happen and what I could expect. And yeah, that helped me with my understanding.
Great. So how did you find our service overall in the whole process? Would you recommend us to anybody that would be in a similar position to the position you were in?
Absolutely. I would never have tried to attempt to sell the business myself. I couldn't have valued it properly. I mean, you picked up on things that I didn't even really understand there could have been a value put to it. So the whole thing was much, much simpler. It's very streamlined, very easy to follow. So absolutely wouldn't suggest anybody trying to do that themselves. It's too difficult. The legal process alone is very complex. So, it's not, I don't believe it's something you can do yourself. I think you'd regret it in the end and always wonder, did you get the right price? And have you missed anything out that's going to come back and bite you further down the line? So, yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. I mean, I do say to my clients that, and I said this to you obviously at the beginning, that I do tend to try and hold each client's hand and take it step by step through the process to make what is quite stressful as stressless as possible. Did you find overall that you kind of navigated yourself quite comfortably through the process? I know that there were 1 or 2 hairy moments during the process, but I mean, overall, did you find it a lot more comfortable than you thought you might?
I did. It was really easy that you were mediating for both of us. It stopped me having those awkward conversations, and from both of us, I think we found that much easier to go through you than have direct conversations that can be awkward when you're talking. Yeah, money. It's always awkward.
Okay, great, fantastic. All right, thank you very much, Julie.